Yes, Ndewo, and welcome back to the reading from the content of my diaries. Wow, Chukwudi. So,
Hello, good
my
morning.
papa anyị ji shi na Hausa law. Papa m nyere m an account of his journey from the north after the commencement of the massacre of the Ibos. So, papa m gwara m mee ka ọ doo m anya that ihe mere na ya ji survive war or the assistance given to him by some of the Hausa people, due to the fact that he understood some Hausa, and in fact he spoke Hausa language fluently, and that was what helped his survival during that uprising. Papa gave account of how he saw so many Ibos killed by the Hausas. So ndị Hausa zuru papa m ezuru ya, assisted him to move to Kafanchan, where he got a train. That train was heading to Enugu, and it carried majority of the Igbo people that were trying to escape the massacre of the Igbos in the north. So along the way, the train was stopped by the Hausa Marudas, who were trying to intercept the movement of the Ibos and probably kill them off. So my dad was lucky that the particular coach on Onimea, the occupants of that coach was ordered to move into the forest. So they moved into the forest, and according to my dad, that was where the journey began by foot. And then he arrived Enugu, and from Enugu he came back to Owerri. So having arrived to the village, my mama were a present to my dad, and that present was a little baby girl, Amonia, in my father's absence. And that was the Ada. According to the tradition of the Igbo people, Ada occupies a significant role, an important role in the family, and they gave with special attention. So, especially in this case, that now honor as a position of reassurance and reintegration of our father back to the family after the uprising in the north. So, and Yaroma Papa had a special connection with Adaya, with Stella. It was as a result of that. Many things was responsible. One and one, I love from Stella. I used to love her very much. And I was ready to do anything, to fight. I was ready to fight for Stella. And that was why I went to the extent of being detained by the police. Because during that my confrontation with that man, I have spoken about him, a lot of things came to my head. One of which was during the days, Papa Amra, the war ended. Papa went back. The federal authorities announced that people should go back to their respective places and resume back what they were doing. And I didn't see my dad going back to the north, and my dad made me to understand that nobody that witnessed the killing of the Ibos by the Hausas that will want to move to the north. And at that time, this might also explain the exodus, the mass exodus of the Ibos towards Lagos. After the war, because majority of our leader, our fathers and mothers who experienced whatever happened at the north, many of them did not go back to the north. They now shifted their attention towards west. My dad moved to Lagos, and soon after that he got a job and started back. Start trying again to pick up life and then invited his family back to staying with him. I was one of the children that moved to stay with our dad in Lagos. Maybe in this channel I will give in-depth account of our early days in Lagos for better understanding of anybody listening to me. Oh, from people who doesn't even know what happened, who doesn't even know my father. So, in those early days in Lagos, a lot of things was wrong. A lot of things happened in my family. One of which was the unacceptance ndị Yoruba nyega ndị Igbo. Then the second was ụmụ papa m became ill with some kind of some terminal sickness. Stella in particular was suffering from sickle cell anemia. It was later her sickness was diagnosed to be sickle cell. Otherwise, my parents didn't know how to handle it because they had no knowledge of what it meant. Chidunabalis organitigide mkpu na-ebe akwa from until morning. Papa ama ha ga-eme, mama ama ha ga-eme. And Sumachibo, there was no money for transport. Papa kekebe ahụkwa n'ego ole a ga-eji were je gbaa moto from Moduero je Randall Avenue ebe nwere ụlọọgwụ, because at that time Randall Avenue was the place where majority of the hospitals were. Ebe ahụkwa n'ego moto anyị ga-eji ụkwụ from Moduero gagide jega ruo Randall Avenue ebe anyị ji check Stella up. Assume this my back was a taxi or the Uber eji akwọ Stella. Nkwọdụ mama m akwọdụ. Anyị ejeje check ya. Anyị chekicha ya, ha refer anyị back to another, they refer us to another hospital at Ikeja. Ikeja was not the main Ikeja, but somehow closer to Oshodi. Anyị jere, mma m ga-anọ na-ekpe ekpere maka ndị bịa echiri akwa adị ama maka ihe were nwa ego nwa coins anyị ga-eji were gbado n'Oshodi. Then from Oshodi akwụrụkwa Stella n'azụ ndaga achọta where the hospital was. So anyị tara ahụhụ gbasara that girl. My dad suffered, my mom suffered, myself I suffered. So that was why. Nwa mmadụ wada especially supposed to inwe respect and a greater amount of attention. Ya wụrụ ma nwunye ya Mike na Chinedu na ndị ọzọ bejikwana ha behave ga. I don't blame them anyway, because they were never part of this family. Never. They were not part of the hustles, the suffering, the gnashing of teeth. Ke Sajo na nwunye ya. What did they know? Soon after I handled Logan K. Stella, actually the doctors making her nyega advice and how to be able to manage up with Stella's conditions. Memory. And during the I find out that now that thing the more intensified during the rainy season. She should not go to school, she should wear a boot, she should not get soaked and all those kind of a thing. And we tried to manage up with the precautions the doctors were giving. And I'm going to acquire that on rule 15 of Berry that she's free. There's nothing again going to happen to her. Then Chineke making a survivor. Survivor. She gave her support and her commitment to the survival of my father and mother in Lagos. Monea, we teamed up. Whatever assistance our mother needed, Stella was there. Myself, I was there. So, the importance of Ada. In the content of my diaries, what the larger part of what happened, or the larger part of the content of my diaries was is focused on Stella. And in different parts, I'll continue to talk about Stella to be able to let Chinedu, Mike, Ike, and Franca, wherever she is. There are things they don't know. These are strangers. These are strangers. They don't know, they hardly know who Sajo was. They hardly know who Celine was. Mama Ikishi of Nishela school here, Bia Lagos. How many months did you stay with your dad before you moved to Apapa to go and stay with your friends? Who Inoru Papa Ashe man Onoru Korono? Did you Onoru Korono Sajo? Onafokatara. She from Apapa HM Italy. From Italy, I love her. Jeje Uro, Hindo Jeje Uro, within the number happy to my hand happy to. Where did you have time to be able to get close to your father and mother, to know who they were? Nothing. Anybody choro matani, Agra Mike, I will tell you about Sajo and Madam Celine, free of charge. I will not charge you money for that. Okay, Njikage. In that respect, I senior you there. I can give you an account. I can tell you who those two were. I don't need to charge you for that. Thank you for listening.